First of all, can you have you got any kind of camera or editing techniques that you're considering using that might be classed as postmodern or crime related?
For editing techniques, we plan to have like sort of words come up next to the characters, like quite high art forms of things.
And also like time remapping as well, so fast forward, rewind and stuff like that.
Good, so you're going to play with time and put some text
like
up there.
the character blows a smoke in the camera. We're going to have it like kind of like fast and then like freeze frame on her.
Good, good. And can you explain the plot twist a bit for me again? I just was a bit confused about how the femme fatale dies and how that narrative plays out. So talk through that.
Okay, so it starts with like the guy who meets this girl and she doesn't know, like he doesn't know what she's like, and she knows what he's like because she only wants his money, so he kind of gets lured into her, and then obviously she disappears once she's like taken things that she wants to steal, and then when he tries to track her down, he ends up like being like the bad guy, cause, like in the end, like obviously you don't see this in the trailer because it's meant to like tease them, but he ends up like killing her.
It's because at the beginning you think that he's the like innocent one, but then it turns out that he kills her in the end. So it's like plot twist.
So it's like she changes him for the worst.
So the kind of other guys, the gang that he gets together, are they? You said that. Can you explain his connection with them? Because you were saying they're kind of gangstery, but if he's initially a good guy, it seems a bit strange that you would have those kind of friends. Or how does that going to play out? That kind of narrative.
It's not going to be like a typical gang. It's going to be quite like postmodern. It's going to be we have like some dopey guys like within that gang. They're quite like cheesy. So yeah.
They're seen as not very strong, but they are.
And what's their connection with him then? Like, are they old friends from school? Or does he?
Friends like throughout the years and from his work.
And then it's mutual friends as well.
Okay.
Because he's got a lot of money. Obviously, with money comes power. So he obviously knows a lot of contacts through that.
Fine. You mentioned. You mentioned the Teddy Boys, the 60s. At the moment, I think there might be kind of a little bit of too much going on there. I think the Teddy Boys are the 50s for a start.
We thought that, but we were just like, so 60.
Yeah, I think we might have a decade wrong. I was also thinking that all your ideas sound very neo-noir. Do you know neo-noir? Can you remember last year when we looked at Brick? Mm-hmm. Yeah? That kind of the femme fatale, the black and white, all that very stylistic stuff. So I think it might be worth looking again at all your postmodern stylistic ideas and making sure they're not too mixed up, that there is some continuity. Do you know what I mean? Like Teddy Boys plus black and white plus text on screen sound like lots of different ideas. And postmodern films are all about stealing lots of different ideas, but they do all kind of match, if you know what I mean. They do all make sense within the one film. So I'd think about whether you might have too much going on and try and make they all kind of have a similar feel to it. Like, is it all neo-noir? Or is it all kind of neon text coming up, like kind of Scott Pilgrim type stuff? So kind of don't put too much in there, kind of make it quite stylised rather than just lots of everything. Yes?
You said you're going to make like lots of the characters 60s. So is it set in the 60s or is it just the characters that look like in the 60s?
No, it's set in the 60s.
Quick question, how are you going to film that in Brighton? How are you going to film it looking 60s?
We're doing it in like the Grand Hotel and stuff, so not
So you're not going to show like any cars or anything like that? Because you're
not
really keep
no, we thought about that,
Yeah.
it's not going to work like that.
Because it would be really hard to film.
It's not around the streets.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's actually a really difficult thing to do. And so every time you set up a shot, you have to think about anything in the back of the shot that gives away the period, like top cars going past, like in the pub, people in the background dressed in obviously 21st century clothing, those kind of things. Or you have a think about that and you make a decision about whether these people are just very stylised people, but it's set in modern day. But it's a bit, again, like something like Brick, where where they wear quite dated clothes. Like the femme fatale in Brick looks very dated. She looks quite 40s, which is very noir, but it's set in the modern day. So, you know, just have a think about the logistics and whether you're setting yourself too difficult a task because you don't have the budget to dress the entire, you know, Brighton with 60s cars and have people in the background. How is your trailer going to sell your film? What is it specifically you're putting in your trailer that you think is going to draw in the audience? What kind of narrative, character, what events?
Maybe because they're quite young as well, it's going to draw in a younger audience. It's quite appealing to them. It's quite different, isn't it?
I think a lot of the like crime elements as well, like the money and the guns.
It's like sort of different crime we're aiming for. It sort of includes like identity theft a bit, and we think it's a bit different.
Yeah, good. Luke?
Have you thought of like a target audience profile? So like a typical person, target audience or not?
No, I haven't come to that yet.
No, but yeah.
No.
Kind of like highlighted it a little bit, but we haven't established like a set target audience yet.
So you think it's young, so you've got elements that were target kind of 15, 18 plus, kind of a young teenager into 20s. But the crime genre element, I suppose, would then target maybe an older audience as well, like 30s, 40s. So you could potentially have quite a wide audience.
Yeah.
But then as it's British, then it becomes niche again. So it's a real mix, isn't it? So it's worth looking at that. Good. Any other questions? No? All good.